a herd of antelopes, a colony of ants, a troop of baboons, a caravan of camels, an army of caterpillars, a congregation of humans. We can do so much more together than we could ever do alone. Good morning. Welcome to United Church of Christ in Boxborough. I'm Reverend Cindy Worthington-Berry, and no matter who you are or where you are on the journey, you are welcome here. Whether you are with us in person or online, live or later, we are so glad to be connected. For more information about life at UCC Boxborough, please visit our website where you can sign up for the Flash, our weekly email newsletter. And if you're with us for the first time today, welcome. We are an open and affirming congregation, fully welcoming people of all sexual orientations, gender identities, and gender expressions. We have Zoom Deacon Art hosting folks on Zoom this morning. Good morning, Art. You can chat with Art there. You can add your joys and concerns to the chat box when we get to that part of worship. And Art will also post a link to our digital bulletin. It will have announcements in there as well as other helpful things for worship. Super important announcement in the room and online. Next week, we are worshiping with and in Berlin. Next week, we are worshiping with the First Church in Berlin. It's our joint choir service this year. We're going to them. It's at 10 o'clock, a whole half hour later, which means two things. If you forget and get here at 9:30, there's still time to go down the road. Or if you remember, you can sleep in an extra half hour. Folks online, we're also using their Zoom. So that is found on our it's on our website for next Sunday. It's in the Flash. It's everywhere. So their Zoom. Likewise, if you come to ours at next Sunday at 9:30, we'll send you there. And so where are we next Sunday? Berlin. And are we excited? Yes, we are. All right, but today's worship service, we're here, fully here, and our worship service today is focusing on Heifer International. This is a service sponsored by the Faith in Action team, and they have been coordinating a month-long effort of fundraising and awareness around Heifer International, and today we pull it all together. So while this may not be a typical service, we know the Spirit of God is still present. Spirit that is always present, particularly when two or more gather, grounding ourselves in the love of God, connecting to each other on a more deeper level than maybe we do in the rest of the week, and feeling the way in which we can bring God's love to the world.
The idea is to wait until the ringing stops, but I know some of you hear it longer than I do, so I wait a little bit longer. Good morning, I'm Andy. Please join me in the call to worship found in your bulletin or on the screen. Have you been feeling like a fish out of water or a lucky ducky? Come all creatures, great and small. Were you busy as a bee this week or strong as an ox? Come all creatures, great and small. Have you been looking for a place to put down roots? Come all creatures, great and small. Bring your hunger and your hope. Both are welcome here. So, come all creatures, great and small. Please join me in the gathering hymn this morning, also found in your bulletin or on the screen. God of the sparrow, God of the whale. Our centering prayer this morning begins with a bit of silence. In the quiet, see if you can remember the last time you were really hungry. Maybe your stomach growled, maybe it was hard to concentrate, maybe you feel shaky, maybe you got grumpy. Try to remember what it felt like in your body to need life-giving food. God of abundance, we live in a world with more than enough. Enough for all to eat, to live, to thrive. And yet, some of us have too much, and some of us have too little. And that isn't good for any of us. Help us to bring balance to the world and to our own lives, that we might care for each other, all creatures, and this earth. That's the prayer Jesus gave us when he taught us to say these words. Creator God, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Did you know that giraffes greet each other by pressing their necks together? That dolphins whistle at each other? Lions rub their heads together? Elephants entwine their trunks? Sometime look up what lobsters do. And we've all seen how dogs greet each other. I'll be a dolphin. The creatures of UCCB greet each other with passing the peace. May we pass it not just to each other gathered in this room and online, but to our brothers and sisters and siblings around the world and all of creation. Online, you might offer each other peace in the chat box, in person with a bow, a wave, or a high five, or you can whistle like a dolphin. And then we'll sing our song of celebration. God's peace be with you.
And also with you.
Our scripture reading this morning is from the Gospel according to Mark. It's the story of a miracle that shows up in all four Gospels. Like many of Jesus' miracles, in this one, hungry people are fed. Hear these words from Mark chapter 6, verses 34 through 44. As Jesus went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. When it grew late, his disciples came to him and said, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is now very late. Send them away so that they may go into the surrounding country and villages and buy something for themselves to eat." But Jesus answered them, "You give them something to eat." They said to him, "Are we to go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give it to them to eat?" And he said to them, "How many loaves have you? Go and see." When they had found out, they said, 5 loaves and 2 fish. Then Jesus ordered them to get all the people to sit down in groups on the grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and of 50s. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and blessed and broke the loaves and gave them to his disciples and set them before the people. And he divided the 2 fish among them all. And all ate and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets. These are big, full baskets, full of broken pieces and of the fish. Those who had eaten the loaves numbered 5,000 men and their families. These are our sacred stories. May we have the vision and wisdom to live them.
Amen. Children of all ages are invited to lean in for a word for all ages. So the story that Andy read this morning is one of Jesus' most famous miracles. 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish somehow become enough food for over 5,000 people. And of course, I think the real miracle is getting everybody actually divided into even groups and sitting on the grass. That's the part that seems really impossible to me. The crowd around Jesus was hungry. Their souls were being fed by his words, but their stomachs were getting more and more empty with every minute that passed. But you know, they were also kind of used to being hungry at that point. The Roman Empire controlled everything where they lived, and members of the Roman Empire were keeping most of the food for themselves. So there wasn't enough for the Jewish people to eat, and they were always worried about where they were going to get their next meal. What's worse is the Romans would even use food to try to control people. They would say, "Work for us, and we'll make sure you have enough food." So even if all the people just stopped listening to Jesus right then and there and went home, they still might not have enough food to eat. And that's why Jesus' miracle is such a big deal. In a time where there wasn't enough food, when powerful people were hogging it for themselves, and when they were using it to have power over people, Jesus found a way to give everyone more than they could even eat, all for free, with no strings attached. Now, I wish 2,000 years ago was the last time people were hungry. But there are families around the world and right nearby who are worried they won't have enough food to eat today. Now, maybe we can't bring them all into one place and have them sit down on the grass, and it's raining here today anyway. Maybe we can't miraculously turn loaves and fish into enough for all. But there are things we can do to help make sure people have enough to eat. So I was going to give you a list of some things I'm thinking that UCC Boxborough is already doing to help people get enough food. But I'm going to ask you, what do you know of that UCC Boxborough is already doing to help make sure people have enough food? We have the little free pantry right outside the building, so people can come by any time and get some food to eat. That's the only one I heard so far. Jojo? We're raising money for Heifer. Jojo is giving us the fabulous segue into the rest of the service. I think I heard community supper. This Wednesday, in fact, we are sponsoring the community supper, and we'll be serving meals to folks in Acton. I can think of at least one more thing. I'm sorry, Ralph has his hand up. Freebie Market, where we keep food out of the waste stream, and the launch for Freebie Market is May 20th, right outside our building here. Oh my God, I didn't even think about gleaning. We also glean. What do we do that, once a month? Many times a month. Oh, weekly, we're involved. We glean, see, this is why you guys are answering. So we participate in gleaning weekly, going and getting food from grocery stores and making sure it gets to people who need it. I can think of at least one more. Tina?
I don't know the name of it, but it's the ministry group that does the
That is a great one. So meal train, is what Darcy organizes so folks who need a little bit of casserole or soup after they've had a surgery or an illness, lots of people in the congregation go and bake for that. This is so much better than my list. We sponsor the Acton Food Pantry. We give them both money and donations. I still have one more. Janet? World Central Kitchen is the one that I was thinking of. So we partner with World Central Kitchen by sending them money so that when there's a disaster any place around the world, they go right there and they work with local folks in order to provide food to those who are in the middle of crisis. I can't even think of any. Andy, what have you got? It's true, Worship in Action. Just a few months ago, we made sandwiches for folks at Worcester Fellowship, brought it to them so folks could gather for worship and have a meal together. Kelly? Well, how about you start with one? We've done Stop Hunger Now, which is our favorite worship service, where we put hairnets on and pack food so that it can go anywhere around the world, shelf-stable food, and be available when needed. Kelly? Oh, Kelly wanted to know if she could name communion as a way in which we feed people. And I think we definitely can and should name communion as a place in which we feed people's bodies and spirits. And of course, I'm sure you were listening super closely to Andy's reading of the scripture this morning, and you heard how that passage mirrored what will happen at the Last Supper when Jesus, it says in this morning's passage, took the bread, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to the people. Well done. Beautiful. So today is one of those worship services that's a worship in action service. Somebody mentioned us making sandwiches or packing food through Stop Hunger Now. We periodically have these worship services where we do with our hands and feet what we talk about every week. This one's a little different today. We're not going to be actually packaging food or anything like that, but we're going to be learning about Heifer Project International, and we'll be talking about the money that we have raised and deciding how it should be spent through Heifer. We'll be talking a little bit about what Heifer is, but let me just tell you how Heifer started. A heifer, does anyone know what a heifer is? A heifer's a cow. Heifer International started when the founder, Dan West, was helping starving people in Spain. He was helping them they would gather in a line and he was passing out milk. The milk ran out before the line ran out. There were young children still in line and he had no more milk to give them. And he said to himself, they don't need milk, they need a cow, so that there will always be milk here for them. Since then, Heifer has sent cows around the world, but also they've sent pigs and sheep and chickens and more, so that families can find sustainable ways to feed themselves. So that means that our worship service today, as you've already seen, is full of animals, including this anthem from our junior choir.
Problem. My music just went under the piano.
Could you two share? Could we have two?
I don't think they have real music. Oh, wait a minute, I see it.
Is that the whole thing?
Yes. Okay.
Rivers, mountains, rocks, and trees, the Lord our God made all
many of you are already familiar with heifer? Got lots of hands. Trust there were hands online too. I remember first raising money for heifer when I was in elementary school, when I was pretty young. And one of the things I loved most about heifer right from the beginning was the idea of passing on the gift. Is that component of heifer familiar to folks? So what happens is when a family receives something from heifer, they agree that they will pass some aspect of it on to somebody else. So they might pass on animals or knowledge or tree seedlings. Whatever they've received, they will pass on part of that to other people in their community. That means that small gifts yield big results, and it also turns recipients into donors, which gives folks a huge sense of accomplishment. And this idea of passing on the gift continues to be a big part of heifer. But one of the things I really appreciate about the organization is how it has actually changed over time. Too often, organizations in the US in particular try to help with situations around the world and just make things worse. Heifer has made a few mistakes itself in its 75 years, but it has evolved in response to what it has learned from some of those mistakes. So, for example, heifer will only enter a community with an invitation. It can't be forced on a community. And even after a community engages with heifer, the communities direct their own development. It's not imposed from outside. And heifer helps communities coordinate with other local resources, with the government, with other agencies, so it's not like heifer or nothing. Heifer also works on recognizing the impact of climate change. So their goal is to end hunger and poverty while also proactively caring for the earth, from planting trees to changing fuel sources. Also, heifer provides training for people, from medical care for animals to how to start a business, so it isn't like just drop a cow and run. Now, in general, heifer works on enabling greater access to schooling. Many people, when they first get involved with heifer, they can't write. When they sign their pass on the gift contract, they use a thumbprint. But a lot of the families use the additional income from being a heifer participant to send their kids to school. In most of these countries, you have to pay to send your kid to school, so families use these for first school fees. And research has shown that when women farmers in particular have access to resources, the positive impact on a community is amplified. So anyone can work with heifer, but women are often the most impacted. Which means that all our gifts to heifer won't just provide animals for a hungry family, they'll also give them tools and resources that will impact their whole lives. And that feels close to kind of a Jesus-level miracle to me. So let's learn a bit more about heifer and decide what to do with the money we've raised. We are going to have a little bit of a competition today, which means I need a scorekeeper. Would anyone be willing to be the scorekeeper? Phyllis? Right? This was our pre-planned. Okay, Phyllis, come on down and you can... All right, Phyllis is going to be our scorekeeper, and we're going to have two teams. We're going to have a team on the left, and we're going to have a team on the right. Phyllis, you can sit right there, and right there, and there's your scorekeeping. I need a team captain from people on the left. Anyone, just for first from the people on the left, who'd be willing to be a team captain? Why? This one was not pre-planned. Marley's willing to be the team captain. Come on forward, Marley. 1 second, Woo! Okay, folks on the left, what is smarter than a talking bird? A spelling bee. Your team is the bee's knees, okay? You're the bee's knees, all right. Did you know that a single colony of bees can help heifer farmers double their local fruit and vegetable yields? All right, I need a team captain on this side. I like the buzzing. All right, I think the whole junior choir. Maybe do you want to also be a team captain? You can say now. Any members? All right, and I've got JoJo. So all the children who want to be team captains, come on ahead up here. Yes, JoJo, you too. Anybody, any of the kids who want to come be team captains, come be up here. Excellent. Including our friends in the back, but there is no pressure. All right, okay. This side, what does a cow band play? Music. Oh, but Jingle Bells is pretty good too. All right. So your team is the cash cows. As I already mentioned, cows were the first animals donated by Heifer International. Did you know that a cow can see 360 degrees to be aware of predators? And if you push over a cow, it can get back up. That's just a myth. Okay. I'm going to invite all of our captains to sit in the front row so you don't have to stand the whole time. But you're going to be in charge of, you're welcome to stand. You're welcome to stand, sit, but would you like to have a seat? We're going to just move. You don't want to sit? Okay, well, you have a seat if you want it. Okay, people online, are you listening? I will personally donate an additional $1 to Heifer for every correct answer you put in the Zoom chat or Facebook comment box, up to $100, up to $100. So like if you all are replying the same right answer, I will give $1 for all of that. Folks online, I apologize in advance for anything in the room you don't hear. I will keep working on repeating as much as I can. Okay, ready? All right, question number 1 to the bee's knees. Let's start with pigs. Many families want to keep pigs because they don't need much land, they eat scraps, they provide rich poop for fertilizing, and they have lots of babies to sell to neighbors. So, here's your question. As we've seen in cartoons, pigs wallow in mud. Why? Marley is answering for you. She's your captain. She says to keep cool, which is right. That's one answer for the bee's knees. Bonus question for the bee's knees. What kind of pigs do you see on a highway? Roadhogs are the kind of pigs you see on a highway. 2 points for bee's knees. All right, now this is question number 2 for the cash cows. A family's access to this natural resource allows girls to go to school. What do you think it is? You can turn, team captains, you can turn to your group and get some answers. What natural resource would help girls go to school? Water, you got it. 1 point for the cash cows. Bonus question, this is a multiple choice. What percentage of the earth is salt water? Is it A, 52.5, B, 75.5, or C, 97.5? Percentage of earth that is salt water. I'm hearing B from the cash cow, 75.5. 97.5 of the earth is salt water. The competition is hot and heavy down here, let me just tell you. I forget what you're like with games, Marley. Yes, so I'm so sorry you did not get that second point, but don't worry at all. Okay, by the way, out of that, so 97.5 of the water on earth is salt water. Out of that remaining, did you understand the question? What percentage of the what percentage of water on the earth is salt water? Could you give them a point?
We'll give them a point.
Fine, I'm not a teacher. Okay, but that's still a lot of salt water, right? If you think like all the water that we have access to, 97.5 of it is salt. Now the rest of the 2.5 remaining of the water on the earth, 70% of that is frozen. So we do not have access to a lot of water. Okay. For me screwing up? No. The question was, do cash cows get a second point for me screwing up? And the answer to that is no. No. But there'll be so many more chances. There are 844 million people on Earth who lack access to clean water. 844 million. That's twice the population of the United States. So Heifer helps participants get access to clean water. They install, I just realized I don't know how to pronounce this word, treadle pumps? Treadle pumps. It's totally a group process today. Jeff just tried to get a point for the cash cows, but I actually heard the help from this side. So treadle pumps are human-powered pumps. You pump with your feet, and the access to that water helps maximize the growing season, but it also means that family members, usually girls, don't have to spend hours each day traveling to fill water jugs, which makes it more likely that they can attend school. Yeah. All right. Question to the bee's knees. This animal is credited with the discovery of coffee. You need a hint? And I just want to say, Paul, you cannot answer this, okay? Here's the hint. This is also the animal that Reverend Cindy wants for a pet. I don't want to go. It's a goat. He really wants. She's not getting a goat or a Great Dane, Marley. But yeah. It turns out that more donors give goats to Heifer than any other animal. And goats are very useful for Heifer participants. Not only do they give rich milk, usually a gallon a day, they can survive in almost any climate, and they eat almost anything. I think I have a lot in common with goats. Okay, so allegedly, a goat herder in Ethiopia discovered coffee by noticing that his goats were frolicking with particularly high energy after eating certain berries. Okay, did you get a point? Did they get a point for that, for the goat thing? I thought somebody said goat. See, I heard Heidi say goat, yeah. All right, now, they did get it. The hint was okay. Now I need one volunteer from each team. Oh, I got Kelly, and I got JoJo. Okay. You are going to need to sing a song. Does anybody want to save Kelly? You're going to have to, come on, Kelly, you can do this. Come on, Kelly. You're going to have to. She does get a, JoJo says the bee's knees should get a point for being braver. No. Oh, the cash cows? Okay. But don't worry, Kelly, because you have to sing it. You have to sing it like a goat. Okay, right? I knew you could do it. I think goats say ma. Okay. So and then you guys have to guess. So Kelly, I'm going to show you your song. Oh no. Okay. Here's your song. Are you going to tell me you don't know that song?
No.
Okay.
I do know that song, but I gotta. Ma.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to guess it?
Yeah, they're supposed to guess it. So hold it up to your mouth.
Like beatbox? I gotta beatbox? Okay.
Do you want to look at it again?
No, I just gotta think. I'm nervous.
You're doing great.
Okay.
Isn't Kelly doing great? Woo!
Peter's like, oh no, she's gonna put the microphone to her mouth. Okay. Ma. Can't do this. Okay. Ma. Right
there! They got it! Woo! Woo! That was awesome. Okay.
So let me get this right.
Yeah.
Do we have to do a song about a goat, or should we
I am going to show you the name of a song, and then you're going to sing it as if you were a goat singing it. Are you still comfortable with this?
Oh, I thought I was going to make a rap. I thought I was going to make a song about goats, so I was planning a rap. So, but I can still do it.
You sure? You are so flexible. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to show you the song. Don't read it out loud. Okay? Do you know that song? Can we get some help? Old people? Oh, I didn't.
Actually, I do.
You know that song?
Yeah, but I don't know the tune very
Okay, no worries. Glynis is going to come up and help
Very
you.
bad tune.
I
I think I can do it, but I might.
All right, Glynis is going to. Do you want to try it once?
Yeah.
Okay, Glynis is going to be here to flank you, but you can try it singing it like a goat, and they're going to guess.
Can I see what it is? Okay.
I don't really know what goat sound like.
Let's see how if
How about if I start and you join me? Perfect. Okay.
I think I can do this by myself.
Okay. That was a great goat. That was a great goat. Don't go anywhere, Jojo. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here. See how Glynis does.
Meh, 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 meh. Meh, 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 meh.
Well done. Well, thank you for helping her get there, Jojo. What? Oh, did you? I'm sorry. You continued the song. What was the name of the song? Old MacDonald had a farm. Thank you. Okay. Don't worry. So everybody got a point on. Everybody got a point on that. Okay. You all still with me? Is everybody tired yet? Okay. I think it's your turn, right? Cash cows? Okay. This animal can have up to 50 babies a year. Get help from your... Get help from your team. This animal can have 50 babies a year. Rabbits! Very good, rabbits. Rabbits are a great option for families who don't have much space because they can live in the house or a back porch. They will eat scraps, and their poop is good fertilizer. Okay, one more rabbit question for you. This is multiple choice. Ready? Rabbit ears help them do one of these three things. Rabbit ears help them either A, recognize family members, B, keep cool, or C, tune into radio stations. B, keep cool. That's right. They got a point. The large surface area of a bunny's ears help them release more heat. All right, question 5 for the bee's knees. I just want you to trust this process, that there are some times where there's 2 questions and sometimes where there's 1, but at the end they're the exact same number of questions. You would not believe the amount of time I spent making sure it would be fair. Okay. Bee's knees. Heifer International now regularly gives out trees as part of its commitment to sustainability and environmental justice. Where are the world's tallest and oldest trees? California is right. The tallest tree is a redwood named Hyperion. The oldest is a bristlecone pine named Methuselah. Trees are one of the longest living organisms on Earth. People who are getting animals from heifer first get fast-growing seedlings so that the trees can be there and enrich the soil. The people can use the leaf mulch to improve crops, and the trees help replace natural forests, reduce soil erosion, and provide habitat for lots of creatures. Some heifer participants just receive trees like a small orchard that will provide fruit and nuts that they can sell. Okay, cash cows. This animal helps control malaria and yellow fever by eating mosquito eggs. Look to your team. Look to your team, confer. Look to your team, confer with your team. Did you ask, do they agree with you? What do you think? What? No, it's eating the mosquito eggs. It's not dragonflies. One more try. It's not chickens. Does this team want to steal? It's fish. Duncan got it. Don't worry. No, they're not getting a point for that. They don't get it. Everything will go all to heck if they get a point for that. Okay. So fish are perfect animals for heifer families. The family builds their own freshwater pond. They feed the fish crop waste like rice hucks. And then listen to this. They catch one fish from their pond, and that is the perfect amount of protein for the family to have with rice and veggies, a full meal that day. So for folks who don't have refrigerators, this pond is perfect. They catch one fish, they eat one fish, they have no waste. They can also sell one fish at a time to their neighbors who also have the exact protein they need for a family. Bonus fish question. I think your questions are harder. I just want to say I'm sorry. I should have tested this out with Paul and see how he did. Okay. What do fish and trees have in common? I heard. They are both living, absolutely. Did you say both decompose? They do both decompose. So we're going to do it the other way. So you know how you cut a tree and you can see how old it is by the rings? Fish have growth rings on their scales, and so you can tell how old Janet is like, where do you find these things? This is in my head. Okay, fine. Apparently I lose a point for that one. Okay, I need 2 volunteers. Nobody's signing up now. Jojo, it's no singing. No singing. I got Jojo. I got Andy. Okay. We have 2 volunteers. We want to see could you both make a fish face for me? What would a fish face look like? Okay. Now, when I say now pause the fish face. Now we're going to see, when I say go, we're going to see who can hold the fish face the longest without laughing. Ready? Set? Go. You know, I've picked the wrong people for this. What if you start making fish faces back at them? Oh, Andy's cracking. Andy's cracking. Jojo can do this all. Oh, they both get a point. You both get a point. Well done. Everybody gets a point. No, you were very impressive. Okay, are you all still with me? Okay, great. Bee's knees. Bee's knees. This animal is often called the camels of the clouds. Marley, some people on your team have ideas. I need your answer. We're going to call it a llama. They were going back and forth between llama and alpaca. I have learned a lot about the differences between llamas and alpacas this week. So just want to be clear, it's the llama. They get that name. Jojo has a llama on his shirt. I was very excited to see the llama on Jojo's shirt this morning. They get that name because they don't need much water, camel-esque, and they are indigenous to the high plains of Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru. Bonus question, how do llamas settle fights? Actually, this isn't a joke. I realize it sounds like a joke, but it's not a joke. We're gonna see how they do. There are 2 parts to that answer. You must get both. Okay, so how do llamas settle fights? They got half the answer. They do spit. They also neck wrestle. 100% look up llama, just like giraffe. Well, giraffes do it to Greek. You have to look up llama neck wrestling online. Okay. Llamas were bred for their gentle nature and fine fiber. Do we have a rebuttal? Do I need to separate you two? Yeah. Llamas were bred for their gentle nature and fine fiber by Incas 6,000 years ago. Their feet are gentle too. Their padded hooves don't damage soil, but they can also be tough. Sometimes llamas are used as a guard animal for other livestock. All right, cash cows. This animal produces the milk that gives us mozzarella cheese. No, I know. No. Have a meeting. You can't steal. Wait. Oh, yes, mozzarella. Yes. Who makes mozzarella? Well, they don't make it. They contribute. Yes. I feel like, Chris, do you know? I feel like you know, Chris. Yes! It's the water buffalo. I had no idea that the water, now I think mozzarella is gross. Okay, stick with me. It's already 10:20. We're almost to our final questions. Water buffaloes, because now I love water buffaloes. Water buffaloes are called the living tractor of the East. They are about 6 feet tall and so strong, they help plow fields and can carry heavy loads. They just want a water source to lounge in. All right, bees knees, your final question. This animal is one of the first to be domesticated about 12,000 years ago. I 12,000. One of the first to be domesticated, if not the first. And it's not an animal we've already talked about. Okay, I need your answer. Sheep is correct. Sheep are sheep are great herd animals because they stick together and they follow each other and they're really social. People who get sheep from heifer can use their wool to make clothing, and a sheep can yield up to 18 pounds of wool per clip. All right, cash cows. Final question. It's about chickens. True or false, a single chicken can lay up to 200 eggs per year? Work with your team. What's your answer? True, it is true. Chickens also eat bugs and weeds. They improve soil by scratching it with their claws and pecking at it with their beaks and fertilizing it with their poop. In Asia, this is cool, some farmers put their chicken coops right over fish ponds because the poop, the droppings help fertilize the algae that the fish eat. Isn't that cool? Nothing's wasted. All right, bonus question. What do you call a chicken wearing a Superman costume? What? Cluck Kent. What do you call a chicken wearing a Superman? Okay, our final challenge. I need one person from each team. Final challenge. We're going to give somebody who hasn't done it before. All right, Zachary. I need this team. Paul, come on. All right, we're going to do an egg race. So you're going to start from here, come all the way over here. It is not a real egg. I like my job. Okay, so you're going to stand side by side. Now, you've both got an egg on your spoon. Whoever gets to the first side, the other side, whoever gets to the other side first wins. But if you drop your egg, you have to go back and start all over. Okay? Ready, set, go.
Go, bees. Go, bees. Come on.
What are you doing? What are you...
No! Oh, no! Oh.
Well done, Zachary. For those of you at home, not only did Zachary win, but Paul spilled his beans all over the floor. Well done all. Phyllis, do we have a winner?
We do. Cash Cows has 10 points.
We're not there yet, Ralph. Don't worry. Phyllis?
Cash Cows has 10 points. Bees Eats has 8 points. Congratulations for Cash Cows.
All right, wait, who won? Wait, who won?
Cash Cow.
They won?
They won.
After all that, they won. Should I come up with something to give you 2 points so we can have a tie? Ralph, do you have something? No, we're not looking at the points online yet. That's the next section. How much? Helper Project talks about filling the ark. What Bible story are they referring to? Noah's Ark. All right, so Phyllis, now what's the score?
Cash Cows 10, Bees Eats 9.
No, they got 2 points for that.
Oh, 2 points for that. Both teams have 10.
Woo! All right. In just a minute, we're going to discuss how to spend our donations. First, the choir's going to sing their anthem.
Gonna ride up in the chariot early in the morning. Ride up in the chariot early in the morning. Gonna ride up in the chariot early in the morning. I hope I'll join the band. Gonna ride up in the chariot early in the morning. Ride up in the chariot early in the morning. Gonna ride up in the chariot early in the morning. I hope I join the band. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. And I hope I join the band. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. And I hope I join the band. And I hope I join the band. Join the band. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after
As a faith community, we know the impact that we have when we join together and share our joys and our concerns and lift them up in prayer. We begin with our joys. What joys do you bring to this place today, Janet?
I would like to celebrate the energy and generosity and joy in this congregation today and online.
Janet is celebrating the joy and generosity evident in this congregation today and many times, well, all the time, both in person and online. Thank you, Janet. Debbie? Isabel's home. This is a time of year when many of our college students are returning home, and we're particularly happy when we see someone like Isabel, who's been in Ireland, come home, and we hope we get to see her soon. Other joys. Jojo. Jojo is starting a new comic. Jojo is quite the artist and writer, and we will look forward to seeing what comes out of that comic. Andy. We have been holding Andy and Laura's families, parents, in our prayers, and Andy is particularly lifting up how much better his mom, Nancy, right, is doing after having had a stroke a month ago, and now she's recovered. Is she driving yet? Not yet. Which is good, right? Taking, maybe soon. I'm sure she is determined to be driving. We hold her and all of you in prayer in this time of transition. What? Did I miss a joint? Nicolette.
Celebrating the service with Temple Beth Elohim, the Shabbat, the supper that came before, in celebrating the collaboration between our two congregations in welcoming the Afghan family here, and the joy of seeing how far they have come in their time here, and just this whole process. It was quite glorious.
It really was. The Refugee Shabbat on Friday was an awesome gathering with our siblings at Congregation Beth Elohim. The family that we have been sponsoring for the last year and a half was there and spoke, and it was just a service full of meaning and joy. Heidi.
My mother had terrible hearing and replaced her hearing aid. We needed something really, really good top of the line, and my mother got them for her, and it was working very well.
Heidi's mom has gotten new hearing aids, which are making a huge difference. What a joy and a relief, Heidi.
And I'll see her mother.
And Heidi's gonna be with her mom on Mother's Day. What concerns do you bring to this place today? Nancy. We've been praying for the mother-in-law of Nancy's sister, Carol. David is Nancy's husband, right? David's mom had been on hospice and died recently. There is much to celebrate in her life, and David and Carol are on their way here, and will be able to be with family to celebrate them. Jojo. Say it again, Jojo. Jojo is very worried that his lemon popsicle today will overfreeze. May that not be so now that you have shared it with this community in prayer. Anything else I've missed? Gloria.
Yeah, I just want to mention a lot of people know I'm from Michigan, so my father's younger brother, who's 97, passed away this past week. And he was a World War II paratrooper.
Wow.
And had quite a experience during World War II. Wonderful man.
We are celebrating the life and mourning the death of Gloria's uncle, her dad's younger brother, 97 years old, who was a paratrooper in World War II. And so gratitude for that life and that service. Cindy. Cindy's mom took a bad turn at the nursing home where she lives this past week. Cindy and siblings were able to be there, but holding the whole family in prayer during this time of transition. And Fred had yet another fall this week and is not doing well, so prayers for Fred and Linda as well. Let us come together in prayer. God of love, in a world so full of challenges, you keep pointing us toward the signs of hope. Someone sharing what they have, a child asking deep questions, rain turning everything green. As we seek to be your hands and heart in the world, may our own hands feel your comforting presence. May our own hearts feel your peace. Whatever we still carry from the week past, whatever we face in the week to come, may we remember you are with us, God, and draw you in with every breath. Amen. So I just want to apologize that this service has gone a little long, and UCCB folks know usually when a service goes long, I have chocolate. I just have to tell you I don't have chocolate today. I'm very sorry, I know. And if anybody needs to go, Flo, Flo? Fellowship knows me, and they have chocolate cake for those in person. So if you can hang on for another couple minutes, Kelly and Peter? Yes, we failed to mention the fellowship team when we were talking about all the ways in which this congregation feeds the world. Huge thanks to the fellowship team. And however, if you need to go, we totally understand, and we're really sorry. This doesn't usually happen. Okay. At the beginning of April, the Faith in Action team promised to donate $500 to Heifer if the congregation would match it. The team said they would donate $500 if the congregation would match it. Okay. Well, the congregation has donated $1,194. And Faith in Action went, and then they want to match every bit that the congregation donates. So that means right now we have $2,388, this is not the moment to check my math, to donate to Heifer International. And because there was a tie, you all get to decide what we will purchase from the Heifer gift catalog with that money. Now let me tell you, we are still taking funds today, so we might make more than that, but this is where we're at now. So here's some of what we could buy. A buffalo for $250, sheep for $70, a goat for $120, a cow for $500, a llama for $150, a beehive for $30, chicks for $20, rabbits for $60, ducks for $20, fish for $300, a pig for $120, a water system for $300, school fees for one student for $225, a healthcare worker for $200, and trees for $60. Doesn't that sound awesome? But that total is $2,425. So far, the congregation has just donated $2,388, so we're $37 off. But wait, what about the chat box? Ralph, this is the time. Did we have at least 37 right answers? Ralph, did we have at least 37 right answers? Yes! Hooray! We can send the whole list. Does that sound good? Yay! Thank you, Peter. You can go. All right, and you can still make a donation. There will be boxes at coffee hour. You can give online, or you can use one of the envelopes at the back. Just label it Heifer, add it to the offering plate. The offering plate is also at the back. The deacons are going to move that into position. Thank you for all the generosity you've shown for Faith in Action, Heifer Project, and all the ways in which you support the ministry of this church. Our closing hymn is We Cannot Own the Sunlit Sky. The words are in your bulletin, and on the screen you are welcome to rise in body or in spirit.
For we are part of all
Because I have gone a bit long today, we will not sit for the postlude, which Joe will still play, but then you can also save it to play it another day. Beloved, may we go forth this day with gratitude for the earth and each other, for the circle of life of which we are an intricate part, and the call to honor all living things. And may the God who feeds our bodies, minds, and spirits walk with us every step of the way and bring us back here again. Amen.